Good to see you.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just a bit out of breath. I just had to go back to the hotel to get my power supply.
Yeah, great that you have joined this APAN59.
Yes, it's getting harder and harder to get around every time.
Yeah, you must be busy, very busy man. You have plenty
Uh,
of sessions, huh?
it's just so much pain to walk now. So,
Okay. So, how is your domestic life? Is it fine now?
yeah, it's all good. Just waiting for surgery on my back to hopefully let me walk properly again.
Okay. So let me know when shall we start? We have five presenters. Four are online right now. So let me know when we have to start. So I will announce the presenter then.
I think we're pretty good to go now.
Okay, that's great. So let's start the session. I am Fawad Raza from PERN. I am a co-chair of e-culture working group of APAN. We had last session in APAN 58 where we have seven presenters have presented different kind of presentations around the e-cultures, arts, films, and other calligraphy also. So this time we have good presentations, and the first presentation is from the Qaisar Roonjha, who is from the WALI project. He has done a wonderful job in the Baluchistan. So I request Qaisar Roonjha to please start his presentation.
Am I audible? Uh, am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear your voice on the Zoom, but I don't know is it okay on the on frame?
Yeah. If anybody is hearing me, that would be great. If you can hear
Hearing
me,
you,
it means I'm fine.
hearing you loud
It's
and clear.
audible. I can also hear you. It's audible.
Wonderful. So my name is Qaisar Roonjha. As Fawad Sab introduced me, I'm really thankful for this invitation to share the experiences that I have with the Wang Lab of Innovation and the other project that we are doing. So Wang is Welfare Association for New Generation. It's a youth-led organization, a non-profit based in Lasbela, Baluchistan. I'm the executive director of the organization. We work with youth and communities. So year 21, during the COVID, we realized that there was a very immediate need of having internet accessibility. Internet has always been an issue for people like us in rural areas, particularly in Balochistan, where accessibility is a challenge. And I grew up, my life was changed with the internet. So I thought, and I believe that internet could change many lives, but especially during the COVID, when the universities across Pakistan went online to teach, a lot of people in our communities had to struggle, especially young people. For boys, it was fine. They would go to mountains, or as a group of boys would go to a bigger town somewhere to search for internet and live together in a one room apartment. But for girls, it was challenging, and especially in societies like ours, where it's very much tribal norms and cultures, where movement for girls is very much limited. So that's where we got into the idea of forming Wang Lab of Innovation. It's a rural innovation lab which is centered in a very remote area in Lasbela district of Balochistan. It's a community network supported by the Internet Society. It's a solar powered lab. We have a bunch of computers and a lot of literacy programs going on. Our goal is to transform rural communities with the power of technology and innovation. So that's where we are focusing on, and we have ongoing programs. We envision a society where every individual has access to education, their rights are protected, and youth lead development. We believe I'm the oldest one in the organization, so we can see how youthful the organization is. And our mission is to transform society into a peaceful, inclusive, and educated environment by harnessing community potential. So instead of letting young people go to bigger cities to do things, how can we make sure that everyone gets access at their own doorstep? That's how our value functions. That's how we play our game. And we do a lot of interesting projects with the Wang Lab of Innovation. We have a girls leadership program where we empower young girls through mentorship, scholarships, and trainings. We work on sexual reproductive health rights for girls through Wang and Wali. And then we have very specific programs for youth development and digital inclusion, where we bridge the digital divide through access to technology. It's free of cost, it's solar powered, so it's always available tool. And for a number of people, it's just walk from their home to their field. So it's challenging for girls in remote and rural areas to go to market or bigger cities or urban centers, but they can definitely walk from their home to their field. So well is situated right in the center, so it's just on the walking distance where we have been functioning. So far we have seen a great result, and we have empowered, trained, graduate like hundreds of girls and boys now, and they it is all free. So they don't just learn digital skills, but they also learn life skills. They learn entrepreneurship. They learn other skills, which is helping them to create more pathways for their future, to see where their future is heading. And it has been fantastic so far. We have seen a very great response, and the community is very empowering, and we see every time when you get into the lab, you feel like you are in a place of ideas. Especially with AI, things have pretty much changed. Earlier we had challenges to bring teachers and tutors from different parts, which was challenging, financially very costly. But now it's easy. We have a lot of teachers, AI teachers, who teach our children from language to coding, from coding to a lot of other creative stuff. And that has been AI has been we the lucky thing for us, soon as we launched in 2022 in around May, by November 22 we get chat GPT. So we thought it's a very right moment to be in the AI game. That's where we launched Urdu AI. Urdu AI is one of our initiative, Wang Lab of Innovation. At this moment, this is globally first and number one. If we talk about as an initiative, as a platform, we are one of the leading platforms simplifying AI for common people through our content, through our videos. In last 2 months, we reached around 17 million plus people. These numbers from old one. Now we have online workshops going on, online trainings where we simplify AI for very common people in very normal Urdu, because we see AI has the potential to to create opportunities for everyone, but it needs to be democratized, because for now even the entire world is exploring, even the AI companies exploring what AI can do. So meanwhile, it's very important to make it simplified, especially for those who don't understand English or don't have access to larger resources. So that's where we bring Urdu AI, urduai.org, and we have been creating content, reaching millions. We have published guides, regular blogs, what's happening in the world of AI. We have our own chatbot, and a lot of things that we have been doing and engaging. That's one of the initiative that Wang Lab of Innovation is leading, and very proudly creating impact over millions of people. We have our own chatbot. It's trained to respond in very friendly Urdu and very culturally sensitive Urdu. That's where we trained it. So if you go to urduai.org/chat, you will get into Urdu AI's official GPT. On Chat GPT's network, this is one of the highly engaged GPT from Pakistan, especially in Urdu. And we cover news. We provide latest information from the world of AI, generative AI particularly, and we create content to teach people how to use AI practically in their lives. That's what we have been covering through our content, our videos, and our guides. And so far we have seen a very great response. And we also provide help people to get right apps, because we have seen a lot of scams and getting people into trouble by downloading fake apps or apps like which should have not been downloaded. So we have created a platform where we provide authenticated apps, and also training people how to use those apps in their daily work life or personal life. And we have seen a great reach, not just in Pakistan, but outside Pakistan. We have seen a great reach from Saudi, India, US, United Kingdom. These numbers get changed over the time, but we have seen greater reach outside the Pakistan as well, since the Urdu community is across the world. So we have been seeing great number increase across the platform. These are some of them. We also run a newsletter, so we provide weekly updates for people who don't have access directly on social media. And then we also have a WhatsApp channel where we reach to people who don't have expensive digital packages or mobile data packages. So we ensure that everybody is reached through WhatsApp packages, WhatsApp groups. So we also ensure that. And right now we have 300K plus subscriber on all platform. In last 60 days, we had a reach around 17 million in overall in last few months since we started. It is around 50 million something, but this is the number that we have right at this moment. And I won't take much of your time. So thank you from my side. I would be very happy to answer if there are any questions.
Do we have any questions? That sounds like a really great initiative in terms of bringing those who are less advantaged into the digital world. Very well done.
Thank
you. Yes, sir. I have a question from my side.
Sure.
Please proceed.
Do you think the one that the chatbot that work in Urdu language, how is it the better version of ChatGPT in Urdu or some? Have you worked on that? Like that you worked on specifically on the language or something else?
No, it is being run on ChatGPT, but we have trained it because on ChatGPT, the bot speaks Urdu that even I don't understand. So we have trained it in a way that it communicates much easily in a very common man's Urdu. So that's what we have trained it. So it's a GPT. We trained it our own way. For example, one example would be for a common person, it would be very challenging to give an entire prompt of getting a quality image. So we have trained GPT, for example, if a person says a cartoon Urdu AI cartoonish image, then we already have a GPT trained on that entire Pixar style cartoonish image linked with that one word. So he doesn't, she doesn't need to write entire prompt, but just one word. So that's how we made it easier, so they don't afraid to use AI.
Thank you very much.
So what potential collaboration you are doing or expecting? I mean, are you collaborating with anyone or any organization also?
We just have signed an agreement last week, but I'm not supposed to publicly announce it. We have to wait, but we see a lot of great interest coming out from different organizations. The other good thing is because we are not just online, we are going to schools and communities conducting these workshops. So in coming months, we would be across Pakistan delivering these workshops in schools. Our trainers are being trained now. And then once we are in community, making AI more friendly and easier, that's our goal to expand it. So we are looking forward to partnerships where we can take these lessons or plans that we have created across the board, and from madrasa, from religious schools to university graduates, from people working already in offices. How can we simplify AI for them so they can utilize it at their best, especially people who have limitations with accessibility, like because the videos that we do, we ensure that we create this space where people feel if they get to know AI a bit more, so they can learn those skills. For otherwise, they have to pay a larger sum of amount or needed larger resources. Now they can just do it by being with AI. It's easier for them to get into the market and get some job done.
Qaisar, I would like to ask a question. You told that you have customized or trained it into a very simple or basic Urdu. But what about those communities like you were talking in the Baluchistan, and also if we talk about the interior Sindh and even in some remote areas of KPK and Punjab, I mean the other provinces of Punjab, I mean those communities are more interested in their local languages like Sindhi, like Saraiki, like Balochi. So you told that you guys have trained it into a very simple and basic Urdu. So what about those localized language which are very easy to understand for those communities who are living in, especially in the rural areas of across the Pakistan? So have
Yeah.
you started initiative for them as well?
Yeah, we had some discussions with Microsoft and other companies. We are still in discussions. We are getting into that, but because we are a very small youth-led organization and we have very limitations with our resources, but definitely one of the way we are making it very friendly is by bringing the examples or very common use. Like for example, if you go and see our content, we use examples how a Kalrak, for example, in a government school in Noshar of Feroz would use AI, or in DI Khan would use AI in his work, or a shopkeeper in Baluchistan's Chaman would do. But definitely, language is still a barrier. For us, the initial target was to get out the bubble from English to Urdu, and then not just running into like, oh, this is AI tool, this AI done this, but how can we get people to see AI in their real life doing things that they can do. Definitely we are in process. We wish to get more resources so we can create content in Balochi, Sindhi, Saraiki, Punjabi, Pashto, and other regional languages. That's one of our goal going forward.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank
Hello.
you, Qaisar. You're
Hello.
doing a great job.
Thank you.
I have
Now,
a question. Can I
okay,
ask a question?
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. This is Hina. Actually, I have a question regarding the use case of Urdu AI because I'm also working on a project. It's in the agriculture domain. So we also want to train a chatbot for the farmers in their localized language, which should use the localized terminologies. So how is Urdu AI accessible? Do we have any API keys or pre-trained weights? So how can we use it if we want to?
So we just yesterday we got a partnership with Microsoft. Microsoft has a program called Microsoft Startup Hub. So if you go there and if you have initiative or something, then you can utilize that. They provide you with some APIs, but this one that the one that we are using, Urdu AI basically is a platform where we named it because people were getting confused. You know, Chat GPT, DeepSeek, Grok AI, blah blah blah. So we came up with a name of Urdu AI. So you can learn all tools here, everything here. But what we are doing, we don't have any API for this particular one. This is built on Chat GPT's GPT format, where you create a trained GPT in certain way, so it responses your audience when you have a system prompt inside the GPT that people are using.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we have the next presenter, Dr. Amir Bajwa. He's from the Lahore Garrison University. He's the head of the department, and we welcome you on the e-culture working group. Sir, please start the presentation. Dr. Amir, can you hear me? Dr. Amir?
Excuse me, this is conference room speaking.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Can you
you're
hear me?
audible.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Okay, please. Assalamu alaikum to all of you and very good morning to all of you. I'm Dr. Amir Mahmood Bajwa, as Mr. Father told, introduced me. The topic of my presentation is contemporary media emerging trends, and future challenges in an e-culture society. Are you seeing my slides, please?
Coming through fine.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I would like to define what is a contemporary media. As a contemporary media continues to influence perceptions and behaviors, it is imperative to address the societal changes arising from its use and consumption. Now more than ever, there is a pressing need for ethical regulation, media literacy, and responsible digital engagement to foster unity and bridge societal divides. So, what is the contemporary media? Contemporary media refers to the modern digital and traditional communication platforms, including social media, streaming services, online news, and AI-driven content that shape information sharing and public discourse in today's digital age. Basically, the contemporary media includes traditional media, which is known as the mainstream media. There are two type of communication. First is vertical communication, and second one is the horizontal communication. The vertical communication means the communication which we do observe from the mainstream media, which include all the television and radio channels. That is also known as the traditional media. Traditional media is structured, reliable, and credible because it is reliable and credible because that traditional media or the mainstream media is having the institutional support. Second is known as the digital media. It is also known as the horizontal communication. Digital media is a fast, interactive, and widely accessible, but prone to misinformation. Third one is AI generated media. AI generated media is automated, efficient, and highly personalized, but raises ethical and authenticity concerns. These are the three main types of media which include, which you can say, overall we can say it is an contemporary media. So these are the four emerging trends which I have identified in the contemporary media. Number one is the rise of artificial intelligence in content creation. Second one is personalized media consumption with algorithms. Third one is growth of interactive and immersive media. Fourth one is decentralization of content. After it, I would like to give you the explanation about the e-culture. E-culture, as we know, it is also know that it is electronic culture. It refers to the transformation of human interactions, communication, and societal norms influenced by the digital technologies, the internet, and artificial intelligence. It encompasses the way people engage with information, media, and social relationship in a highly interconnected, technological-driven environment. These are the few challenges which I have identified in the age of this, you can say, e-culture. Challenges in the e-culture media landscapes are digital misinformation and fake news, privacy concerns and data security, AI manipulation and deepfakes, threat. Number four, ethical issues in digital journalism. Number five, regulation and control of digital platforms. I would like to explain about digital misinformation and fake news. Digital misinformation refers to a false, misleading, or inaccurate information that that spread online, often unintentionally. It includes incorrect facts, outdated data, and misinterpreted content that user share without verifying its authenticity. Fake news is a specific type of misinformation that is deliberately fabricated or manipulated to mislead people. It is often designed to promote a political agenda, generate engagement, or devise audience for financial or sorry, or deceive audience for financial or ideological gains. AI manipulation and deepfake threats. AI manipulation refers to the use of artificial intelligence to alter, generate, or manipulate information, images, or videos to deceive or mislead audience. This includes biased algorithms, misinformation, campaign, and automated propaganda. What is a deepfake? Deepfake threats involved AI-generated videos, audio, or images that convincingly mimic real people, often used to misinformation, fraud, fraud and identity theft, or political manipulation. These pose these pose serious risk to trust, security, and digital authenticity in media and communication. Ethical use in digital journalism. Ethical use in digital journalism refer to the challenges related to accuracy, bias, privacy, and responsibility in online news reporting. With the rise of social media and AI-generated content, ethical concerns include misinformation and fake news spreading unverified or misleading information. So what is the decentralization? Decentralization of the content refers to the shift from centralized platform controlled by the big tech companies to distribute blockchain-based system where users have greater ownership, control, and security over their digital content. Unlike centralized platform, digital decentralization networks have no governing authority to regulate misinformation, illegal content, or harmful activities. Content moderation became difficult, leading to concern over hate speech, cybercrime, and extremist content. The e-culture society is shaped by contemporary media. The e-culture society is profoundly shaped by social media, AI, and evolving media formats. With technological advancement and the convergence of traditional, digital, and AI-generated media, human society has become increasingly fragmented, divided at community, regional, national, and global level. This fragmentation has fueled confrontation, polarization, and social division, leading to inequality and injustice among communities in our social world. Basically, you can say these are the threats which we all the human beings are facing in the age of knowledge due to the e-culture society. That we all this you can say mankind or the people in our social world has been divided into different fragmented society. The fragmented has fueled this fragmentation has fueled confrontation, polarization, and social division, leading to inequality and injustice among communities in our social world. So what impact of e-culture on society? Diminished real-world interaction, screen time reduces direct human engagement. Cultural homogenization. The internet creates a globalized culture, often diluting local traditions. Ethical and psychological effects. Dependence on digital technology affects mental well-being and social behavior. Shift in power dynamics. Social media influencers, AI algorithms, and digital corporation shape public opinion and governance. Conclusion. E-culture represents the digital evolution of human civilization, influencing how we think, communicate, and interact. While it offers unprecedented connectivity, convenience, and innovation, it also poses ethical, psychological, and societal changes that require thoughtful regulation and adoption. Thank you all.
Do we have any questions for our speaker?
Hello.
Yeah.
No questions from the room.
Yeah, but Dr. Amir, what is the remedial for to establish to discourage the fake news or control the fake news in the contemporary media?
It is because we need to promote the media literacy. Media literacy, we need to promote the media literacy. Through media literacy, we can control. You can say the emerging trend of fake news and deep fake. And
But
I think
due to the increase of the commercial aspect in the contemporary media, the screen time is increasing and the commercial aspect is also related to that, and that's why the fake news is rising. So it has something that AI can do it, it can help it in is in this domain.
as I've told you that now this has become a very much common practice for all the media users. For all the media users that we as an individual used to spend a lot of time with the virtual reality. With the virtual reality mean that we are having the interaction with the different social media networking platforms. So there we do use our share content, share our content, and interact with the different peoples. So with this aspect, you can say that the individual, the human beings have become less social as compared because they are not having the interaction with the real world. They are having or they used to spend a lot of time with the virtual world. So because of this issue, the human beings are having some sort of psychological issues, which is also you can say mental well-being. So these are the main issues that we are facing as an individual in our whole social world.
Okay, thank you. Any other question from any other participant joining online?
Mr. Fuad, I don't have a question, but I just would like to make a comment on that how we can detect, you talked about the fake information, what we call misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation. So using AI, there could be there could be three modes which we can use to identify these this pandemic of infodemics. One of them could be the natural language processing model, what we call NLP. Using NLP, we can have the fact-checking models. We can develop fact-checking models, and those fact-checking models can help us to identify which kind of information is a misinformation, which are categorized under the banner of disinformation, and while same time, what are the malinformation, what we, categorize them under the fake news or fake information. And then the second one could be the sentimental and tone analysis, because we can run using NLP models, sentimental and tone analysis, and after analyzing the story or a particular content, we could conclude that either that is misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation. And similarly, we could have a semantic similarity detection model. They can also help us to make decisions about the misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. And then machine learning is also another approach. By using it, we could have a supervised learning process, unsupervised learning process, and multimodal deduction models. I mean, these three patterns, by the use of machine learning, could identify the pattern recognition in the content. I mean, either that content is in the form of the text or it's a visual or audio. And then last one is the network and behavioral analysis. That is one of the latest approach through which we can identify the chatbot usage in the content or their usage for the generation of the content. Then we can also ensure the source credibility. We can check which sources are credible, because that is done by both network and behavioral analysis, as well as by the fact checking process. I mean, we can go back to the source and then can check the source. I mean, which sources are credible and which are not credible. And then the last one is how that these two models can ensure more credible, more valid, more authentic information in this media ecology, which is predominantly now dominated by social media platforms. So I think these two procedures or models could be the latest techniques to detect misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation in the media, text, and even all kind of text, if we take them as a whole category.
Thank you, Dr. Yousaf. I think we need to have this discussion carry on the about the disinformation and fake information, how we can use the help of artificial intelligence can detect these and develop some applications or something tools to identify these kind of news and to help the contemporary media to for the community purposes also. So thank you very much, Dr. Yousaf. Next, we have Ms. Shamsa Kawal. She's also from the Lahore Ghazni University. She was also part of the last PAN speaker panel. And so let's hear from her. Please start presentation, Ms. Shamsa.
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Loud
on
and
Zoom.
clear.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. This is Shamsa Kavala, clinical psychologist and educator from Lahore Garrison University, Lahore. And it is an absolute honor to connect with you all at the APAN59th International Meeting at Japan today. And grateful to the organizers for bringing us together for this opportunity, discussing on topic that affects all of us in one way or another, e-culture, right? So technology has like become an inseparable part of our lives, and this digital transformation is reshaping how we think, feel, and work. So today I'll talk about the emerging trends in mental health, emotional resilience, and work performance in the age of e-culture, and touching on both global perspective and our own indigenous context. So first of all, I'll give you the brief background about my topic. So e-culture is like about how like digital technology has entered every aspect of our lives, like shaping not just how we communicate, but also how we can take care of our own mental health, manage stress, perform at work. But why this is topic important? Because we are living in time where digital technology, I can say that is a blessing and curse, or we can say that a challenge. So these benefits like brings people closer, often offers like emotional support, well-being, and make work easier. But at the same time, these are the challenges. It can lead people to mental fatigue, emotional detachment, even burnout. So the question is how we can do embracing culture to improve our mental health and like work performance while staying resilient, right? So the key objectives for this presentation is first we will explore the emerging trends in mental health and emotional resilience in the digital age. Then we will look at the how work performance is being shaped by digital tools and platforms. And then we will discuss the unique challenges and opportunities in the indigenous perspective compared to the global trends. So like this isn't just about research, it's about how these trends impact our everyday lives and how we can adapt to them, right? So first of all, I'll talk about the global trends in mental health and e-culture. So we are globally we are seeing a rise in the use of mental health apps and online therapy platforms. So for instance, like app like Calm and Better Health have become household names. So they have made therapy accessible to millions of people for those who even for those who wouldn't have access otherwise. Okay? So social media is also a double-edged sword, but it's provide emotional support because it provides support for those uh, who need, and also it can amplify the psychological problems like stress, anxiety, depression. Just think about how scrolling through Instagram can sometimes like leave people inadequate. So while technology opens door, but I believe it requires us to be like mindful in terms of like its consumption or impact on our mental health. So now I'll talk about the mental health in Pakistan's e-culture. In Pakistan, the picture is different. Why? Because mental is still a taboo subject for many. Uh, but digital platforms are starting to change that perspective. Apps like Suno and Marham are connected people with therapists in a way that's more private and less intimidating. But um at the same time, we are facing challenges like many rural areas, like the internet connectivity, lack of awareness, knowledge needed to access these resources. And still, the fact that this platform exists in a step toward breaking the stigma around mental health. Now, there is another important factor, which is emotional resilience. Now, what is emotional resilience? This is basically ability to bounce back from the stress or adversity. So globally, people are turning to digital tools like Headspace for mindfulness. But in Pakistan, emotional resilience often comes from our strong community support, family support, and community bond. So technology can complement this, but like online support groups can connect people struggling like with similar challenges, like offering a sense of solidarity. Or this challenge is finding at the right balance between traditional and digital approaches. Now, how is work performance being impacted by e-culture? Globally, I would say remote work has exploded. Like tools like Zoom and Slack have made it easier for teams to collaborate from anywhere. But in Pakistan, we are still catching up while industries like IT and freelancing are thriving. But many workforce lack the infrastructure for remote work. Like imagine trying to work on a slow internet connection while managing load sheddings. It's a challenge where we are too familiar with, right? So yeah, this is the hurdle or workforce for the workforce in the Pakistan. So every transformation comes with its own set of opportunities and challenges. So in Pakistani culture is opening up a new avenues for mental health awareness, emotional growth, and work opportunities. But we still have a long way to go. For instance, like how do we address the digital divide so that rural areas or remote areas could benefit too? And how do we ensure data privacy for people seeking online therapy? So these are the questions we need to answer fully, like harness the power of e-culture. So I believe challenges also bring opportunities. So that so I will discuss the firstly I will discuss the additional contributing factors or challenges. So the first challenge is uh, digital fatigue and burnout. Uh, a growing challenge is how people are constantly connected and expectations to always be online, whether for work or social media. So it can lead to people to digital fatigue and mental exhaustion. In work environment, this manifests as a burnout, so which people struggling or disconnect from work after hours. In Pakistan, where family time is highly valued, so the blending of personal and professional life can create additional stresses. Another factor is cultural barrier. So mental health is still heavily stigmatized in many parts of Pakistan, but even though platforms like Suno, Marham provide anonymous help, so the cultural hesitation to talk about mental health remain a significant barrier. But similarly, traditional workplaces in Pakistan is resistant to like fully adopting remote or hybrid work models that limited the benefits of e-culture. And Another factor is cybersecurity and privacy concerns, like one of the biggest challenges globally, especially in developing countries like Pakistan, like is the lack of robust cybersecurity infrastructure. Imagine someone seeking online therapy only to have their private session exposed due to the data breach. So this fear discourages people from fully utilizing digital mental health services. And another factor is unequal digital access. Yeah, so the digital divide is a glaring issue. I would say like urban areas might have fast internet and access to digital tools, but rural areas often lack even basic connectivity. So the inequity means that a large proportion of the population is excluded from the benefits of e-culture. Another factor is, last but not the least, lack of knowledge, awareness, and training. Another critical challenge like we are facing, particularly in rural areas of Pakistan, is the lack of knowledge, awareness about how to properly consume digital resources. Many individuals may have access to smartphones or internet, but without the proper guidance on how to use them effectively, and like they miss out on valuable opportunities. For instance, like someone might download a mental health app but lack the understanding how to navigate it or apply its like techniques in their daily life. So moreover, there are often misconceptions about the reliability of the online information. So in areas where traditional learning and digital literacy are limited, but people may be hesitant to engage with online like mental health resources or even digital work opportunities. So I think this gap is in training leads to underutilization of beneficial tools, leaving many individuals isolated from the support they need. Now, uh, that we have discussed the challenges of e-culture, now I'll talk about the opportunities it creates and uh, e-culture it creates. So these opportunity exists both globally and locally, offering like innovative ways to improve mental health, emotional resilience, and work performance. And it also like we will also explore the solution that already in motion and others that hold tremendous potential. So number one is scalable mental health app and telehealth services globally. Like globally, mental health apps like Calm and Better Help have the way people access therapy, but these tools are scalable and cost effective. But it also provides support somehow to underserved communities. For instance, like telehealth services could be like expanded in low-income countries to connect individuals with licensed therapists worldwide, and also organizations like the WHO, UNICEF have the potential to partner with the governments to subsidize these tools, making mental health care accessible for everyone. And the second one opportunity is AI-driven emotional support systems globally. So AI is like definite is opening door to innovative solutions like chatbots, bots, and Visa are great examples. But these, I believe, AI tools offer also like immediate interventions for psychological problems, 24 by 7. Uh, like imagine integrating these chatbots into workplace wellness program or schools where employees and students can access emotional supports whenever they need it most. And the third one is like hybrid work models for better work-life balance. Uh, like in a pandemics showed us the power of hybrid work models. Companies like Microsoft, Google has successfully blended remote in office work, reducing burnout and improving productivity. So I believe this model can be replicated globally to foster better work-life balance and enhance overall well-being. Another opportunity is digital literacy programs for mental health awareness. And these are also crucial because global companies can teach individuals how to use mental health apps, identify signs of burnout, and build emotional resilience. And also, NGOs and tech companies could offer free online courses focused on these areas, empowering people with knowledge and skills to manage these health apps effectively. Also, the online skills development in e-learning platforms like Coursera and Udemy have made education more accessible than ever, right? But from stress management to productivity tools, and these platforms like uh, also empower individuals to improve their personal and professional lives, and but by offering like free or subsidized courses through global partnerships, we can also create skill and emotional resilient workforce. Now, we will focus on opportunities specific to Pakistan. Despite challenges, Pakistan has unique cultural and technological advantages that can be leveraged to address mental health and work-related issues. Number one is like localized mental health platforms. Platforms like Sunoho Marham already providing but online counseling services, but expanding their reach with culturally relevant content in regional languages like Urdu, Sindhi, or in their mother tongue can connect more people to these resources, and think of mindful exercises or emotional resilience training specifically for Pakistan audience. And the second one is like building community-based digital literacy programs, especially in rural areas. The lack of I would say the digital literacy is a barrier. So by partnering with schools and local governments or NGOs, can introduce digital literacy programs to teach people how to use mental health apps and digital tools for productivity. Offline workshops also be a setup in areas with poor connectivity to ensure no one is left behind. Another opportunity for Pakistani people is freelancing and remote work opportunities. Pakistan already a global leader in freelancing. Platforms like Upwork, Fiverr have opened doors for thousands of Pakistani, and they are successfully earned. But expanding government programs like DigiSkills to include emotional resilience and time management trainings for freelancers would further enhance their productivity. Another key factor is like telemedicine for rural Pakistani. Like by setting up health risk in rural areas, people can access mental health professionals through video calls, and by doing this, we can bridge the gap in access to care for underserved communities. Also, the workplace wellness program in our local business uh, in a Pakistan, providing counseling services, organizing mindful sessions for employees in industries like IT, textile, banking can enhance productivity and well-being. Also, the integration of emotional resilience trainings into school. Imagine a Pakistan where like emotional resilience is taught in schools, and mindful practices and stress management techniques. It could be like beneficial and in a curriculum to prepare the next generation for challenges. Tools like mobile apps or SMS-based programs could make this accessible in rural areas. Also, the localized emotional support groups in our regional languages can help people connect with others facing similar challenges. Like platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp can host these groups moderated by like mental health professionals. And also the opportunity is affordable smartphone-based intervention, government collaboration with tech companies. Also, the government can partner with telecom local companies uh, or subsidize mental health apps, zero-rated mobile like data services, and could I believe remove barriers for those with low incomes. Also, the crisis helplines via mobile technology um, expanded with SMS or WhatsApp-based systems, like providing 24 by 7 support for individuals in moment of crisis. Platforms like Taskin could lead these efforts by offering text-based counseling for those who are not comfortable calling.
Are you are you still presenting? We cannot hear your voice.
Am I audible?
Yes.
I think I'm
You
still facing the internet issue. So,
okay? No.
okay. So to wrap up this session, e-culture is like transforming our lives, but its, I believe, impact depends on how we use it. So for Pakistan, the key recommendations for lies in investing in digital infrastructure, raising awareness about mental health, uh, and the importance of emotional resilience in overcoming the barriers, and creating a balance between the technology and tradition while addressing the challenges head on. So, thank you, everyone. If you have any questions, you may ask.
Dr. Kanwal, Andrew here. Have you been involved with the APAN medical working group? I think that they would get great benefit from some of your thoughts here.
Shamsa, are you connected? I think she's facing some internet issue.
Yeah.
So I think when she come back, we can discuss more. We have limited time now. We have two presentation left. I request Dr. Yousaf to kindly share his presentation.
Am I
Yeah, but Ms. Shamsa, you have the voice quality is not good. If you are available, it's somewhere to please reconnect. We can ask question then or may suggest something. Dr. Yousaf, for time now, is please start the presentation.
Okay, Ji. First of all, thank you so much for the organizers and also to Mr. Fawad from Higher Education Commission of Pakistan for providing this excellent opportunity to interact with so amazing minds and exchange ideas and learn from one another. So thank you so much. I'm really honored to be the part of this event. So I'm going to share some of the insights from the published research, which we published. And I think the topic is ethnocentrism and intercultural willingness to communicate in the global world. Because we recently, we are living in a global world. So I will be presenting a comparison between two countries, and especially two countries which are collectivistic countries. So let me start uh, and just present a background of it. Ours is an age of mediated realities where media outlets define our realities. In other words, let me say that we are what we read, listen, and watch. And the contemporary words, what we are reading, or what we are listening, or what we are watching is shaping our realities and especially our social realities. Ethnocentrism, the belief that one's own culture is superior to other, is a global phenomenon and influences social interactions. So this has been widely investigated, examined, and this is one of the phenomena which has a huge impact on the interactions in the regional perspective as well as at a global level as well. It has been the source of ethnic strains or tensions in different regions such as South Africa, Lebanon, even that is the published research, and in some other areas as well, where there has been a lot of conflict because of the ethnocentrism. So this ethnocentrism has affected the way we communicate. It influences intercultural communication across cultures. And when we talk about that, how this ethnocentrism, the degree of loving or appreciating one's own ideas, one's own culture, one's own values as superior, and treating other cultures or other values as something like inferior, has really real implications or effects for intercultural communication. However, most of the ethnocentric research compares individualistic cultures. I mean, most of the studies, scientific studies which have been conducted and published, they focused on US and the Western Europe and the other countries. I mean, the most of the countries who were the individualistic countries, and they compared or presented the comparison with the collectivistic cultures like Korea, Japan, China, and so on. It is acknowledged that individualistic countries like the Western countries, emphasize the content of communication. I mean, the content of communication is the real focus in the Western countries, or in other words, the individualistic countries. In contrast, collectivistic countries like the Eastern countries, like like the China, like Pakistan, like all other countries who fall in the East, are more collectivistic cultures, and they prefer or appreciate collectivistic values, mainly value the context of the communication. So there is a difference between the content of the communication and in the context of communication. In the individualistic countries, content of communication is emphasized, while the focus is on the context of communication in the Eastern countries or in the collectivistic countries. Hall also introduced another distinction to differentiate between cultures. He criticized culture he classified culture into high context and low context culture. This is another category to understand how intercultural willingness to communicate, I mean, how to engage in communication with those who come from the different culture is affected. This is another category. So in the former, communication is very explicit, and its meanings are shared by the society members, whereas in the later, communication is implicit and detailed information, including the context of the communication, is also needed to explain the messages. So right from the individualistic country where the content of communication is focused, and then the collectivistic countries where the context of the communication is focused. And here, according to Hall, in high context culture countries, the communication is very explicit, while in the low context communication or the low context culture countries, the context of communication is more important than and the communication is very implicit, and one has to explain all the details to understand that communication. Additionally, Asian countries such as Korea, Japan, China, and Pakistan uphold high context culture tendencies, in contrast to the low context cultures like those of USA, Germany. And another example is like individuals from the low context cultures are more social and confrontational, avoiding than those who come from the high context countries, Kimpan and Park 1998. As a result of greater extent of the ethnocentrism, it is probable that among the high context cultures, it serves as a mechanism of decoding the cultural differences. And that is the point where the intercultural willingness to communicate comes, because intercultural communication, intercultural willingness to communicate, what we call IWTC, it is one's readiness to engage with individuals who come from the different cultures, who have different values, different taboos, different customs, how one engages in intercultural communications or interactions with them. So this was the background when we thought that there should be a study which compares the collectivistic countries, because primarily speaking, most of the literature was on the comparison of individualistic countries and collectivistic countries. So we couldn't find a study which focused on the collectivistic countries, because we thought and we assumed that the differences even exist between the collectivistic countries when we talk about the demographic variables. So that was the background research gap. The previous studies compared individualistic versus collectivistic cultures, but few explored ethnocentrism or ethnocentric differences within the collectivistic cultures. So this study, I mean, our studies, which the finding from which I'm going to present, compares ethnocentrism and intercultural willingness to communicate between Pakistani and Chinese students, because the sample in this study were the university students, and they come from the communication major. Research aims to analyze the influence of demographic variables, past experiences such as cultural meetings on ethnocentrism, and of course, intercultural willingness to communicate among these a specific group of respondents. So we use a cross-sectional research design, and utilizing survey method, we collected a sample of 700 75 university students. Among 775 students, 387 come from Pakistan and 388 come from China, from Communication University of China, and the other come from the University of the Punjab, the largest university in Pakistan. And of course, Communication University is the main university which offers communication and other cultural industry and communication majors in China as well. So we use generalized ethnocentrism scale and IWTC scales to collect data from students. And after conducting descriptive statistics and, of course, hypothesis testing, our key findings were that Pakistani students scored higher in ethnocentrism than Chinese students. Now, this is an interesting aspect because both China and Pakistan, of course, are collectivistic countries. But still, within these collectivistic countries, students have a difference regarding their score on the ethnocentrism. And if we go a bit deeper into the analysis, therefore, Chinese students exhibited greater willingness for intercultural communication because those who have less ethnocentrism, they are more willing to have intercultural interactions and communication with those who come from the different cultures. And if we talk about the gender differences, that finding was also very important and very interesting. Males in both countries were more ethnocentric and less willing to communicate than females. So females, both in China and Pakistan, were more willing to have intercultural communication or intercultural interaction with those who come from the different cultures compared to their male counterparts. And similarly, another variable which we compared was urban versus rural, those who come from metropolitans and those who come from the rural areas. Urban students showed higher IWTC than the rural students. It means they scored less on ethnocentrism score compared to those who come from rural backgrounds. So urban students, I mean, in both countries, who come from the big cities or big metropolitans, they show a greater tendency of intercultural willingness to communicate or have interaction with the people who come from different backgrounds. And then the foreign exposure was another very interesting variable, that the student with prior foreign interactions or exposures displayed lower ethnocentrism, and as a result, they showed greater tendency to have a intercultural willingness to engage with those who come from the different cultures, have different values, have different orientations, and have a different background as well. So then what are the discussions? What is the argument which we took forward from the findings? Does ethnocentrism hinder global interaction? Yes, because ethnocentrism is one of the factors that creates cultural barrier, that acts as a symbol of misconception, misunderstandings between the people of different cultures, even our attitude toward different cultures, different values, and the taboos are influenced by ethnocentrism. The less ethnocentric individuals are, the more open they are, the more willing they are to talk. So it fosters national identity and cultural preservation. Of course, no, because once you share your culture with the broader population, with the people who come from different background and the different contexts and different countries, that provides us an opportunity to share our culture with them. And I think the culture is carried away, and it acts as an agent to penetrate into the different countries and different backgrounds, and it goes with the different people. Can education and exposure reduce ethnocentrism? The answer is yes. Intercultural interactions and academic exchange can improve IWTC. And also, one of the things is that the media, as a source of representation and also as a source of agenda setting for the public as well as for the policymaker, plays a key role to make people less ethnocentric and more empathetic and more understanding toward the other cultures. And as a result, consequently, they could have a more intercultural willingness to engage with other people or the people who come from the different cultures. And then the policy implications. what are the takeaways which we get from this study? Promote intercultural exchange programs between collectivistic cultures to foster better understanding. While we emphasize there should be more intercultural exchange programs between the individualistic and collectivistic cultures, we emphasize that even there should be more focus and between collectivistic cultures, cultural exchange programs, intercultural interactions. They can promote more empathetic understanding toward the other cultures, and they can break the barriers. They can if not eliminate, they can reduce the misconceptions about the other cultures, about the other tribes, about the other people who have different values, who have different customs, and they can help us to understand their sensitivities, either their cultural sensitivities, religious sensitivities, or even their taboos. That can help us to understand these kind of factors, which can result in a better communication and a better understanding about the different cultures. Then introduce cross-cultural communication courses in educational institutions. That is another important thing, because in the current globalized world, if you want to understand the people from different cultures, want to have a better and broader and deeper insights about the cultures, about the culture of other countries, about the values, about the moral values, about the cultural values, about the political values, and the list goes on. So I think we need to, as a global village, and rather now as a global street, all the country need to have a more cross-cultural communication courses in their curriculum, so that the students could take these courses and could develop better attitudes and better understandings about the cultures of different countries. And encourage media representation. This is a very important and significant in the current mediated age. Okay, that we encourage media representation to reduce stereotypes and biases. This is one of the key challenges to deal with. Most of the time, media framing, excuse me, is very oversimplified, and that leads to negative attitudes, that leads to stereotypes, stereotyping of certain groups, certain nations, certain tribes, and certain cultures. And last but not least, develop policies supporting multicultural integration and global collaborations. The more we collaborate culturally, academically, politically, and even through businesses, we need to have a multicultural integration in this world, which is a globalized world, which is a connected world, like internet society. We need to have a more multicultural integration, as well as global collaborations, ranging from the academics to cultural, and to the business and the political as well. And to conclude, I would say that ethnocentrism varies within collectivistic cultures, and we need to pay attention to this one as well, rather than focusing only the dichotomy between the individualistic cultures and collectivistic culture. We need to have further better investigations which focus within individualistic cultures as well as within collectivistic cultures, to have a better understanding between the cultural sensitivities. And of course, then that influence communication behaviors, communication interaction, and how we want to interact or engage with the people who come from the different cultures. So in conclusion, higher ethnocentrism correlates with the lower willingness to engage in intercultural communications. So we need to work on the ethnocentrism. We need to reduce it. And if we want to reduce it, I think we need to focus on the aforementioned factors, which I talked in the takeaways section of my presentation, that we need to have a more policy interventions, educational intervention, cultural exposure or cultural interventions as well, to mitigate the cultural biases and improve the intercultural willingness to communicate and promote better understanding, better insights among the people who come from the different cultures, because the differences are not the source of conflict. The differences can be celebrated. They are the source of understanding. They are the source of understanding the values, the customs, the norms, and the cultural and the other sensitivity of the other cultures as well, so that we can have a coexistence in this globalized, in this connected and this internet society where we can respect our values, our cultures, our customs, our sensitivities, while still respecting the people who come from different cultures, having different values, having different customs, having different taboos. And I think by respecting the values and developing the consensus, and also having the differences and celebrating them and taking them as an opportunity to understand each other, we could have a better global world where we can understand each other, we can appreciate each other, and we can live in harmony. These are some of the sources which I cited in this presentation, and this was the study which we conducted. This one, it was published in Nature in 2022. So that's from my side. Thank you so much for listening. If there are any questions, I would love to answer them.
Dr. Yousaf, this is Andrew. I was wondering if you had evaluated the age differences and if the contextualization was different for older people versus students.
That's the gap. Yeah, this is a very important question because our focus was on the youth, or the sample from the university students. It's not a general sample of the general population. But I think if we include age as and take a sample as from a general population, we could have very insightful findings to understand the ethnocentrism and, of course, intercultural willingness to communicate or engage or readiness to talk to people who come from different cultures. I think in this study, our focus were on the variable like gender, like the past experience, like the traveling abroad, and the interaction, having interaction or not. I think if we include age and also we expand the sample to the general population, as you have mentioned, I think we could have more insightful results. But our study was focused on the, of course, university students because sample was university students. So I think in future studies, we can take sample from the general population, general masses, and could include age, of course, one of the demographic variables. And then we could look at that either, age at a university, because if we talk about a university student, the age, the mean age is not that much difference, because those who are having masters in Japan or China or in Pakistan, so their mean age is not that much different because they are almost from the same age group. But if we take a general population, I think it will be very insightful. The result would be very interesting to compare ethnocentrism and intercultural willingness. And I think that is a good point, which we, as a researcher, especially me, we will be thinking to extend study to take a general sample of the population, and then also include age as one of the variable to investigate whether age variance can cause a difference towards ethnocentrism and intercultural willingness to communicate.
Something I would also like you to explore, if possible, is those who grew up before the internet versus those that grew up and were engaged in the internet, and what impact that would have as well.
Yeah, that is a very interesting aspect, and I appreciate and thank you so much for sharing this, because those who have grown up before the internet and those who are growing with the internet, I think that's one of the very significant aspect regarding the intercultural interactions. Because the reason is, I would like to comment on that, because the reason is because in the contemporary age, our realities, and especially our social realities, our understanding toward other nations, their image is mediated by the media, and particularly by the digital media and the social media. Because if we look at the current screen times, and I usually talk to my students and I ask them in the research course that just today look at your screen time, and then most of the time it's more than 7 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours, and some people even have more than 8 hours. So growing up with internet is a very different than growing up with the television or newspapers or even with radio. So these differences, of course, also matter, and I would love to explore these two variables as well, before internet and after internet. I mean, if we have a sample I mean, in the same sample, we have the subsample, one come before the internet and the one come from, I mean, that is growing with the internet. That is a very important, because the current generation, I mean, the one who is growing with internet, their realities are also shaped and influence the way internet is directing them. And that's why in the beginning I said that we are what we read, listen and watch. And I think because what Dr. Bajwa was talking in the beginning, face-to-face interactions have reduced if they have not been eliminated. And I give you a very interesting example. I talk to my colleagues and students that even if we have a date with someone and we go for a dinner, I mean, we find a time. I mean, it's in this busy world, it's very hard to find a time. But both of them find a time and then they go to have a eating or somewhere, and then they sit face to face. But unfortunately, both of them are talking to someone else who is miles away from them. And then they close their meeting and have a dinner or lunch, and then they say rest of the things we will discuss on the WhatsApp or on Snapchat or on any social media platform. So this is a very interesting aspect, and I think this is shaping us, the way we are behaving, the way we are understanding the world around us, the way we are understanding the people around us, the way we are understanding the nations around us, and the way we are understanding the cultures around us. So thank you so much for sharing these two very insightful comments. So I think we would love to investigate them in future as well, to have a better understanding of the contemporary internet grown generation and the one before internet.
Thank you,
Go on,
Dr.
right.
Yousaf, for your detailed presentation and comments.
May I have a
Uh,
question, please? May I have a question?
Dr. Bajwa, yeah, but please allow me to complete the final presentation. You may ask because we are running out of time. If you
Okay,
allow me to complete that last presentation, then Dr. Yousaf is, I believe, is here, and he is love to answer the queries.
okay, okay.
As yeah, okay. We have last presentation from Mr. Ejaz, Abdullah Ejaz. He's doing a PhD from UTM Malaysia. Please, Abdullah Ejaz, you start your presentation.
First of all, thank you very much for giving us time slot to present this presentation. My name is Abdullah, and I'm working at Multimedia University, Cyberjaya, Malaysia, as a research assistant in IoT lab. So we are working on a next-gen heart and lung sound diagnostic system that work with a AI as a AI-powered stethoscope, and we are working to revolutionize the cardiovascular and pulmonary diagnostic. Right now we are working with the UKM hospital with Dr. Faisal, who is a HOD, and from the Multimedia University we have project leader Dr. Kadesh and other team members. PulseWise represent an innovative advancement in cardiovascular and pulmonary diagnostics, seamlessly integrating AI and IoT technologies. PulseWise addresses challenges in noisy environment through real-time analysis of heart and lung sound, offering dynamic triage recommendation in pre-hospital and emergency settings. The aim is to create an AI-assisted analysis system that supports the enhances and the diagnostic capabilities of medical profession. The PulseWise is mainly focusing on the pre-hospital care, like ambulance and the air ambulance, the normal ambulance that work on the road, traditionals, and the boat ambulance. Here is a scenario that we have where this system can be used business case as a land ambulance. These cases highlight the challenging of accurate oscillation in noisy ambulance environment, emphasizing how PulseWise can enhance diagnostic precision and patient outcome by integrating AI and noise cancellation. Noise here, the noise, the big issue in the noise cancellation is in recent time, a 30-year-old female in her second trimester experienced a missed diagnostic murmur due to ambulance noise. So there was a mismanagement in the diagnostics. So noise cancellation is a main part of our pulse-wise system. So this is another business case, as this system can be used in the air, helicopter, ambulances. So here we have the problem statement. Previously, all the data that we were processing for the machine learning were using the cloud connectivity, wireless connectivity for the real-time analysis. But in the PulseWise, we are working to analyze and do all the machine learning and the prediction, disease prediction on our PI system, local systems. This is our overall system design. We are recording sound by a stethoscope using Raspberry Pi and then sending it to another Raspberry Pi for predicting the disease in the heart based on the lung. So we are doing the sound classification in machine learning. So and on the final testing the system in emergency vehicle, we can test this in helicopter. We can test this in the land ambulance and the boat. We are going to test on the boat in the next month. We will visit some islands and we will test on the boat scenarios about how this system work on the boat. Novelty is the AI algorithm significantly improve the accuracy of diagnosing heart and lung sound even in challenging and noisy environment. And the another independent operation. The system operate independently of WW network like internet. We don't need internet to predict and do the analysis of the sounds. These are our main research elements: diagnosing algorithm and the deep learning. These are the main research elements that we have implemented in our system. We are collaborating with the university, HCTM, the hospital, and we are improving our system based on the recommendation by doctors. And first of all, like the team of doctors, HODs, and they test the system and then they approve it, and then we utilize it on in the testing phases. These are some pictures from the testing that we are done and the meetings with the doctors that we have done in the recent time. Research funding. This research actually received funding from Telecom Malaysia, and we are and this Telecom Malaysia funding actually helping us to make this project advancement. These like these investment enable the investment of innovative technologies. These are the key publications we've done in our healthcare and JPT categories. These are the two awards in ITEX 2024 and Inventex 2024. And the last week we won the MTX Malaysian Technology Expo award, and we won the gold award from there. Market opportunity, and further we have these are our competitors in the market. First of all, the PulseWise, and the second one, and the third one. And we are on the first and the best in the price point, instant readiness, and also the EMS protocols. Thank you very much. Our innovation ensure faster, smarter, and more efficient patient prioritization, setting a new standard for real-time trial system. Thank you very much. If you have any question, kindly please.
Dr. Ejaz, Andrew here again. You skipped over the commercialization slide. What are your plans for commercializing this technology?
Okay. Right now, we are in the testing phase of this system. So we are mainly targeting the ambulances, the pre-hospital care. So this system is not going to be used inside the hospital. This will be only used by paramedics. So right now we are, our target locations are KL and Selangor. And 2014 adoption, 5% initial adoption rate in the first year, and 15% to 25 adoption. 30% adoption in 2026. And this all adoption is by paramedics, the emergency healthcare staff.
Are you looking at deployment only within Malaysia, or are you looking at global deployment?
For now, we are going to deploy inside Malaysia and UKHM hospital for testing, and then we will further, like during 2025, our plan is to set up this, install this project inside the Malaysia.
And are you looking, as you expand, are you looking at making this accessible to a wider range of people beyond paramedics? I could see this would be very valuable for aged care communities.
Yeah. To making it accessible to all type of scenarios in medical, we need a rigorous testing. Too much because if we go in public and used by non-medical staff, we have to see several different limitations and testing that and approvals from the medical authorities to make this happen. So that's why we are targeting a very specific, so we can run a successful test case.
I look very much forward to you progressing this. This sounds like an amazing piece of work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Fawad, over to you for any other questions from the other remote participants.
Yeah, Abdullah, are you making or creating any apps or something like that for this, or any commercial app will be available for the paramedics?
Okay. For this device, we are not going to make any app or connecting it with the Wi-Fi, because the main target of this device is going to be inside the ambulance. So we have designed two Pi-based devices, and they are connecting with each other. So we are not targeting any mobile device or mobile application for this. It will be focused more inside the ambulance environment and remote areas where we don't have internet and like rushy and very chaotic situations.
But are you looking to expand it in future? I believe for
public
to use
use case?
mobile as a IoT and then use it in that areas also.
Yeah. For now, we are not have looked into that, but we will be working on this in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any queries from the online participant? Okay, thank you, Abdullah. I believe you're doing a wonderful work, and I am very happy to see you progressed well. Abdullah was also a very presenter of PAN58, and now he's doing a PhD in Malaysia. And I'm very happy to see him and doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you, Fuad.
So, any question from Dr. Bajwa? You have asking some question from Dr. Yousaf. So if you have a question, we may close the session.
Yes, I want to ask a question to Dr. Yousaf. First of all, I really appreciate Dr. Yousaf's presentation. He has given a presentation in a very excellent manner, and it was a really very detailed presentation. Dr. Yousaf, as you said in your presentation, that we should promote the intercultural exchange program. So can you tell us, please, that how it could be possible to promote the intercultural programs with a country if the two countries are having a very highly diversity in culture? If the cultures are very much diverse between the two countries, then how it could be possible to promote the intercultural programs?
Dr. Bajwa, thank you so much. This is again a very good question, because if there are cultural differences and cultural diversity, then how we could how we can promote intercultural communication programs. So I think one role can be played by Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. And I think Mr. Fawad is from Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. He's in a better position that we could have a more collaboration with those countries, who come from the different cultures, because that could provide the opportunities to those who study there, that come up with the culture of those nations, those, ideas, innovations, customs, and even the belief system as well, because studying there or living there is just adopting or that culture, what we call inculturation as well. So one could be the Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. Second could be, of course, the provincial, what we call PHEC, Punjab Higher Education Commission of Pakistan, and similarly, I think Sindh Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. I think they could promote, they could have exchange programs, and they could promote. And thirdly, I think universities themselves could send their students, and because I know my university, we have some exchange programs. So when we send students, I think we could have a memorandum of understandings with the countries. Let's suppose Japan, China, even Kazakhstan. These states are the new states. After they came into being after 90s. So even in the Gulf states, even in the Europe, and let's talk about the Eastern Europe, and also if we talk about South America, South American countries like Brazil is one of the, the biggest population there, and having very diverse culture, diverse languages. Even within one country, there are a lot of languages which are spoken. So I think the first level should be, and I think could be, Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. Then could be the provincial education commissions. Then could be the HDs, the government departments, the higher education institutes. They could be. Then, of course, universities themselves could sign memorandum of understanding. Like I give you one example that my university, this center where I'm sitting right now, Center for Media and Communication Studies, we have an MOU with Oklahoma State University. And because of that funding which we received, we have a television, state-of-the-art television studios. So that is working now as a launching pad for the innovation ideas, and working as a lab for, so many students in each and every semester. They go there, they have their scripts, they do the pre-production, because you're from television, they have the post-production experiences. So they refine their words, they refine their presentations. I think if we borrow this concept into the intercultural communication, I think universities, institutes themselves could initiate memorandum of understandings. And I personally know that many universities offer intercultural communication programs in their campuses. The focus of these programs and these curriculum is to foster better understanding among the people of different nations, of different cultures. And I think there could be many more, because now many courses could be online as well. If some university is offering intercultural communication or cross-cultural communication or transcultural communication course online, I think students must be or should be encouraged to participate or register in those courses. And then they could request universities to have, if there are some fees or their charges, some dues, universities could provide them an opportunity, or provide them some support or financial support. Or even, universities have a lot of linkages, like all universities in Pakistan has ORIC. That is responsible with having linkages with the industry, and of course foreign linkages as well. I think this ORIC could be incorporated into this broader dialogue. And then Higher Education Commission, provincial education commissions, university institutes, and then ORICs. They could work together collaboratively to find these kind of programs, and then encourage students to study, because I think there is no way out. We are living in a very, as in your presentation, you talked about very a connected world, and what Andrew was talking, internet world. I think the one option forward is to understand each other, and even having the differences. Differences should not be the source of conflict. Excuse me. Differences must be celebrated. They should be the source of strength for all of us. And we all cannot be the same. That is the diversity and beauty in this universe, that we look so different in terms of our languages, in terms of our complexion, in terms of our colors, in terms of our races, in terms of our cultures, in terms of our political systems, and in terms of our academic collaborations and institutes as well. So I think this diversity should be and could be the source of strength for all of us, and we can cultivate this diversity among our students, the young generation. We can appreciate them to have a better, insightful, and deeper understanding about the other nations, about the other cultures, so that we can have a better understanding and we could have a more harmonious and peaceful world, the dream which all of us have, and we can leave this world for our coming generations, this peaceful, stable, prosperous, and more harmonious world, globalized world.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Dr. Yousaf.
Thank you,
Honored,
everybody.
Yousaf.
I think in the meeting room, I believe we have a tea break now. We have a Ramzan. Andrew, please carry on.
That's correct, Fawad. I'd just like to pass on my profound thanks to Fawad for organising an absolutely fascinating program, and thank you for to all of the speakers. It has been extremely enlightening across a lot of different areas. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining, and hopefully we will looking for future collaborations with for you guys also. PAN 50 and 60 in Hong Kong, so we are looking a good e-culture working group participation from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you for
Looking
Thank
invitation.
you
forward.
very
Thank you so
much,
much.
Yousaf, for giving us an excellent
thank you.
opportunity to have an interaction with such a great scholars. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wasaf, we may leave now.